Well, the war between Israel and Hamas may be the most technologically advanced conflict we've seen. Rapid AI advancements and Israel's pledge to become an AI superpower is changing the face of modern warfare. From robotic weapons to autonomous patrol vehicles, wars may be fought from behind a screen instead of on the battlefield. Joining us now is author and podcast host Justin Daniels, who knows a lot about this. Justin, thank you so much for being here. So, what are some of the biggest advancements you've seen thus far? I'm really interested in their implications as this fighting continues.
I think the biggest advancement when it comes to artificial intelligence is how it is impacting the narrative around the battlefield. Obviously, we see images every night. We saw the picture of the hospital that was hit. And a lot of people thought, oh, immediately that must have been by one party. And then people realized that it really wasn't. And so to me, one of the advances in AI that we have to be careful about is how do we know that the pictures we're seeing are actually real? And conversely, the pictures that we are seeing that are real, people may say, no, that's AI, that's fake. So now it becomes very difficult to put out a consistent narrative about what's going on based on actual facts and not something that's either AI and not true, or it's real and people think it's AI.
Oh, that's really fascinating. Not an aspect you would immediately consider. So when we talk about harnessing the power of AI in these types of scenarios, fighting behind a screen, so to speak, how do you see that impacting casualties in general? Do you think we'll see more or less, or will it not have an impact one way or the other in that capacity?
Well, I think from a military perspective, you can use AI to help with targeting and help with figuring out how to be most efficient. But on the other hand, as we become more technologically advanced, the other side will use ways that are technologically not advanced, like going silent or not using any technology to further their aims with ambushes and things like that. So to me, it's technologies like anything else. There are the opportunities that it creates, but the other side gets a say, and they're going to adapt to those techniques and use other things to defeat it.
How critical do you think this technology will be in the future to ultimately win in conflict for any country?
I think it's going to be important because think about an example of a fighter jet. Think about how much it costs to manufacture that jet and train the pilot. Now think about what's gone on in the Ukraine and other places with how drones have completely leveled the playing field when it comes to warfare in terms of artillery or Air Force, and you're able to hit targets from a long distance away because you might have an autonomously flown drone that costs a whole lot less than the technology, the research and development into a fighter plane and the pilot who has to be trained to fly it.
Yeah, certainly changes the battlefield, that is for sure. Justin Daniels, thank you so much for your insight.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.